Everyone's looking for a shortcut, and on social media, there are some shortcuts. We're going to talk about them in this video. All right, so when we get into this video, we're going to talk about some shortcuts to how you can have social media success fast, but I want to give you a warning. I don't always believe that speed in social media is the most effective aspect of how you accomplish your goals. Building a community takes time. It takes hard work, it takes consistency, but there are some shortcuts. So as you're wanting to grow an audience and grow a community fast, there's some shortcuts to get there. So I'm gonna share those in this video, but I do wanna give that warning before I jump into these shortcuts. The first shortcut to social media success is being an early adopter. Those people that jumped into Periscope at the beginning were able to have massive amounts of followers quickly because they were early adopters. Those that got into Facebook early, and I was one of those with pages. And I remember I grew a page to 800,000 organically. That doesn't really happen today, and with Facebook pages, but that happened because I was an early adopter. I grew my Twitter account to over 100,000 followers. Well, people always ask me how. Well, because I got in over a decade ago. Being an early adopter is a way to get ahead. Now, as you look at new platforms coming around like TikTok or Lasso or some things as they come up, if you want to be an early adopter, there might not be a big audience there yet, but by being an early adopter, you might be able to catch more traction and jumpstart your way there. Now, the fallout of that is it might be a waste of time because a lot of those platforms disappear quickly. So you got to pick and choose where you're going to be an early adopter. But being an early adopter is sometimes a way to shortcut growing an audience and growing an audience fast. The second way to shortcut your growth on social media is by spending money. If you spend money on advertising, or if you spend money by partnering with social media influencers, or spending money in different ways and doing prizes and giveaways on social media, can really expedite that growth on social media. So if you want to grow your audience fast, probably the best way for you to do it in a very thoughtful and intentional way is to spend money. And so you can spend money in very targeted ways, reaching very targeted audience. And so being very intentional that way in spending money, and the more money you spend, the faster you're going to grow. Might not be the most effective way. Organically is going to be the most effective for long-term engagement, but it's also slow. And so I think everyone needs to be spending some money. The question is how much. The more money you spend, the faster you're going to grow. It's a way to expedite or speed up your growth on social media. And the third way to speed up your growth on social media, to shortcut social media growth, is to be controversial. And so you see this a lot of people will do something that's controversial, or they'll pick a topic that's controversial, or they'll push the limits with some of their content. Now, this also is a tactic that I don't strongly recommend, but it does often work. Now, it doesn't always work, but it does often work. And so if you're looking to shortcut your growth by being controversial in different ways around different topics, you're likely to draw more attention than others might. And so if that's the kind of attention you want, and that's how you want to grow an audience, you know what? That is a shortcut you might want to use. So those are the three shortcuts. Honestly, I don't strongly recommend any of them. If I were to recommend any of them, it would be to spend more money from an advertising perspective in a very targeted way. But the reality is the best way to grow your social media is hard work. It's consistency, it's building relationships, it's interacting with that community, being very thoughtful, creating great content. And those are the tips and the tricks. They're gonna help you really grow your social media in an effective and a long-term way. But if you want a shortcut, I hope these tips were helpful for you. Thanks so much for watching this episode of the vlogs. Would love for you to watch any of the other episodes and subscribe to this channel to learn more about social media.